Namaste everyone, I'm Lisa Grail. As usual, I'm going to give something away for your introspection and pleasant spiritual journey. After you listen to this podcast, you will feel less anxious. I'm not promising magic that fixes everything, but you will understand a practical map, a psychological quantum map for how your consciousness participates in creating the stream of events you call your life. When you see the mechanism, you relax. You stop throwing fuel on the anxiety fire. Many times here on my channel I was talking about this aspect in my story, aggressive environment and background anxiety, and then depression and feeling of powerlessness as a result, as if you can't change anything. But now I see it's not true. We affect our reality significantly. We live in a time which, no matter how we believe in our progress as a humanity, still have all the aspects of good and bad, duality, and the history repeats itself. We see wars, merciless killings, and endless conflict on screens, and that's only the visible tip of the iceberg. We cannot control everything that manifests in the world, but we can learn how to manage our own reality, how attention, intention, and internal state steer which branch of reality we experience. I have the suspicion that if the majority of people are not reacting on manipulations of the outer informational channels, we would create a different reality altogether. But we have what we have, and we should focus only on our life to at least give to the world one more happy creature. Today I'll walk you through the basics of what I call quantum psychology, how consciousness creates event series, why people and circumstances change when you change, how people sometimes leave your reality as if they'd finished their role, and practical techniques you can use to shift your experience. I'll share examples from my own life so these ideas feel tangible. I'll also warn about the pitfalls of the trendy I'm the creator, I'm God concept when it's used without inner awakening. If you enjoy this podcast, subscribe to my 3-month Telegram channel Education, where I shared incredible stories of reality shifts and helped people jump between branches of possibilities, as well as shared all information about spiritual awakening and real possibilities of the human beings. To join, message me on Telegram. Contact is pinned in the comment under the video. So what is quantum psychology in plain language? Quantum psychology is a way of describing human experience that combines inner psychology with the idea that consciousness influences which possible timeline or branch of reality you step into. It doesn't require you to understand physics equations. Think of it like this. There are countless possible event sequences available at any moment, many potential ways your next hour, day, or year could unfold. Your internal state, attention, emotions, beliefs, identity acts like a lens that makes certain sequences more probable and others fade. When you change your inner state, you shift the probabilities and open a window into a different branch of reality. Right away, very important here, this is not about controlling external actors on stage like a puppet master with no respect. If you pridefully treat others like puppets, you will be a puppet yourself one day. So this quality is about skillful participation in probability, like entering the dark room with the flashlight and choosing what to highlight. The mind doesn't force things into existence like a tyrant. It aligns, allows, and thereby makes certain realities much easier to step into. Let's see the mechanism of forming events: attention, vibration, and branching. 3 quick pieces that matter. First one, attention. Where you place your mental energy. Attention amplifies possibilities. Fixate on lack and you strengthen lack patterns. Open your attention and possibilities broaden. I suggest that you pull your attention out of negativity and gossiping consciously and forcefully. It's a drug. It's a bad dopamine and adrenaline altogether that shift you to the worst scenarios of your own life. No matter how much compassion and pain you want to express when something in social media is being discussed, I suggest to center your love mentally and refocus if personally you cannot change this situation. Second, vibration, state. This is your felt quality. calm or anxious, expanded or contracted. High, open states attract more expansive branches. Spiritual awakening is a basis, and all my channel is dedicated to this topic. Apply all what I shared here and you will definitely have great results. Point 3. Branches of reality. Imagine a tree of possibilities. Each thought, emotion, pattern nudges you towards some branch and away from others. When attention is weak and the state is low, fear, reactivity, the mind hunts for evidence that matches the fear, which makes those outcomes statistically more likely in your experience. When attention is wide and the state is high, calm, curiosity, you notice opportunities you would otherwise miss. When I was 15, I was often harassed by older men. All my attention was drawn in searching for information on how men have abused women for centuries. I was shaken with rage. I wrote feminist poems and even wanted to go into politics and fight for women's rights. I was surprised that this mess in my head didn't come into my life, and all my attention was collecting history confirming that men are evil. Thanks God I was smart enough to see examples of different men, caring, noble, and men who themselves become victims. This example shows how easily we sacrifice our energy and whole life to fight and attract risk to our lives. My favorite quote is, "Fighting for the peace is the same as fucking for virginity." Sorry for my French. But is it really necessary to fight against this crime? Or there are different ways? Let me start with examples of forming desirable events to shift our conversation to a more positive mood, and I will explain how it works. So my life examples: small materializations that teach how to operate quantum reality. I will share just recent ones. There were plenty in my life in the last 5 years. First example, the second speaker in the park. My husband and I wanted a second speaker for our bike rides. We casually said, it would be nice to have a second one. And that same day, we found a completely new speaker sitting in the park, on the grass. It felt like the probabilities rearranged to offer the exact thing when our attention was relaxed and open, and we were not waiting to materialize this speaker because it was significant but not too much. Second example, immigrating to the US, vaccination. In the process of immigrating to the USA, I was thinking that I might need to show my COVID vaccine certificate. The rule seemed absolute in my mind. I believed everyone needed proof. Seems like on US government website I absolutely saw it. Later, in Poland, I discovered that green card holders like me did not need to present vaccination certificates, while others did. So the rule, I feared, wasn't universal in my reality. The probabilities had a window where the law applied differently. That impossible-sounding shift opened for me. It felt like an unthinkable window of probability tearing briefly open. I experienced this during practices of sleep deprivation and heightened second perception. When I left my country, I needed good luck as never. And I started sleep deprivation because this tool is magical. It was a clear demonstration that laws and social rules can be experienced differently, depending on the branch of your reality. And my favorite one, finding perfect housing in record time. Several times I found excellent housing in USA in less than 24 hours. So, once I need again to find a place, I'm super chill about it. It's a rule in my life. My comfort will never leave me. I have home with me always. I have this feeling of comfort within me. To be honest, I'm relaxed everywhere. I'm going even at night, outside, being alone. If you are an anxious person, better not to experiment with good luck. I shared one video which was called My Experiments in 5D Reality or something like this. I was doing these experiments to just anchor the new idea in my brain that reality is not dangerous if I'm in an expanded state of consciousness and I'm always emitting calm state and love. Moreover, I told you many times, in an expanded state of consciousness, you have no fears because you see that the world is a part of you, it unfolds from you, and looks more like a dream space. So this time, when we moved to Florida in August, I found a house in the perfect neighborhood with a perfect landlord within 6 hours upon arrival. Moreover, it was located 10 minutes of walk from the place we booked for 10 days. A house has a huge backyard exactly in the middle between the beaches and downtown. It wasn't just luck. Believe me, I don't believe in any coincidences. It was aligning with a state of abundance I'm caring about the house in. I always have confidence, calm state and clarity that allows me to attract. These all small stories were always in high expanded state of consciousness when I was high as balls, as I like to say, when I had no importance behind my intention and 100% knowledge that this thing will be for me. What is really worth repeating again and again, that reality is your mirror. It's one of the most overlooked truths. Reality isn't just happening to you, it's reflecting you. Every idea you form about yourself quietly writes a script of your interactions. People around you, whether strangers or loved ones, inevitably play their roles as mirrors, confirming the beliefs you carry inside. If you hold the thought that you're not enough, life will line up experiences that echo back. Yes, you're not enough. If you carry the conviction, I'm worthy, I'm seen, I'm loved, I'm beautiful, the world cannot help but reflect that as well. This is not accidental, it's built into the design of reality. You can check it on your own. The outer world is structured to confirm the inner world. It's not punishment, even karma, and it's not reward either. It's a law of resonance. Reality gives you feedback to show you exactly what you've believed, often without even realizing it. Person who is feeling like victim, very insecure and anxious, will attract violence. That's why I'm always asking people to reconsider their attitude towards reality. It's better to think I'm in control, I'm strong, I'm powerful, than to think that you are being punished with reality. The shift begins the moment you notice this. You stop arguing with circumstances and instead ask, what belief is this reflecting back to me? So it's better to just analyze for future what idea about yourself is being reflected outside. From that awareness, you gain the power to change the inner idea about yourself, and as you do, reality must change with it. But usually it takes time, so reality has inertia. It will have delay anyways. It's the mechanics of consciousness. The mirror doesn't lie, but it doesn't imprison you either. The moment you revise the thought you carry about yourself, the reflection reshapes. So when reality seems harsh or unfair, don't rush to battle it. Look inward, because life is not here to prove you wrong. It's here to confirm you. Think about it. The question is, what will you choose to have confirmed? We are very addicted to perceive ourselves as just victims of circumstances. And let's go to the romantic part of my podcast. People change when we change, and people live as stories end. One of the most beautiful and sometimes painful aspects of quantum psychology is how other people in our reality respond when we change. When you shift your vibration and identity, people often change how they treat you. Sometimes they become kinder, sometimes more distant, because your field has changed. The roles others play in your life are responsive to your state. People also leave your reality in surprising ways. Often it's not dramatic if you are ready. They simply finish their role in the branch you are moving into. You should be wise to see that you played your part in their life, they played theirs, and this chapter is over. This is not mystical punishment or drama, it's life. It's natural differentiation, if you like. Celebrate when relationships deepen, grieve consciously when not, and just for 5 seconds when they dissolve, okay? Let me tell you one wise story that is a living truth for the awakened people. At his son's funeral, an old man stood calm, without tears. The people around him whispered and judged. How can he be so cold, so heartless, when his own son has died? When someone finally asked him why he showed no grief, the old man spoke. Last night, in a dream, I was a great king. I had a vast kingdom and 3 beautiful sons. Then a war came, and all 3 of them were killed. I wept and mourned with all my heart. And then I woke up. Now I stand here, in what you call reality. 1 son has died, and you want me to mourn, as if this reality is real, and that no. But I see it clearly. That dream and this one are the same. Both are fleeting. Both vanish when we wake. So tell me, why should I cry over what was never truly mine to keep? In expanded state of consciousness, you begin to perceive life as if it were a dream. That's why there is no heavy attachments or importance. Instead of holding on to something, someone, you enter a playful mood. And in that mood, risk feels lighter, because in a dream you truly have nothing to lose. This is the heart of non-attachment. In this state, everyone you meet can become your friend, because you are no longer defending a rigid identity, which probably don't like some nations, or some colors of the skin, for example, I'm hinting. You also learn to release grief faster. Grief is natural, but when you understand the dreamlike nature of reality, you do not carry it like a stone. If it feels difficult, regulate your hormones and nervous system with Kundalini yoga. I have practices for that on my channel, for instance, the Kriya for the grief. I've seen many times how my clients shift their reality to the great outcome. Some attracted ideal partners when they entered this dreamlike state of play. Others saw their relatives shift into more understanding and loving versions of themselves simply because they stopped clutching and allowed reality to rearrange. Reality may appear rigid and uncontrollable, but it isn't. The dreamlike perception reveals that reality is pliable, responsive, and willing to surprise you when you loosen your grip. And as I promised, the danger of I'm the creator when consciousness is unawakened. There is a popular message: you are the creator of your reality. I myself shared this concept in one of my recent podcasts, and yes, that's empowering until someone takes it as a technique without spiritual development. If a person learns to pick branches mentally without cultivating the necessary maturity, empathy, and emotional integration, they can produce chaos for themselves. They might conjure unrealistic scenarios or blame themselves for things beyond their control. This can lead to frustration, anxiety, and neurosis. So be mindful, playful, and reduce self-importance. So we can see that the skill to shift our reality depends on our internal work. From my own experience, I can highlight 4 conditions necessary to manage your quantum reality. If you really want to become a skillful participant in how reality unfolds, cultivate these 4 conditions. First, expanded state of consciousness. I repeat it many times what raises your vibrations. Breath work, meditation, deep presence, sometimes controlled sensory deprivation, sleep deprivation, fasting, Kundalini yoga. And why we need this state? Because in this state, we see non-obvious possibilities. And also we attract goodness. The second one, super hard for ego mind. Maximal acceptance, radical acceptance of present experience. Without it, the mind resists any path that moves you towards your goal because it judges the intermediary events as wrong. Third one, fearlessness and trust. I already shared the whole podcast about fears and I highly recommend you to watch it. But if shortly, fear acts like a magnet for misfortune and violence, but trust dissolves it. Fourth, absence of importance. Treat reality like a game. Yes, yes, no, no. When nothing is catastrophically important, probability flows more freely. Importance stiffens attention into a narrow beam that often collapses options. These four together create the field in which quantum psychology actually functions. Now let's make it practical. These are techniques you can use daily to stop feeding problems with your attention and shift your reality to miracles. Usually it's first thing to do because we cannot be sober in searching for solutions if our attention feeds a problem itself. It creates what it believed in. It's catch-22. Moreover, if our attention is enhanced with fear, we will create the worst situation. If I'm focused on my debts and anxious about it, I'm creating even more reasons to worry about it. So to refocus, first, 3-minute field reset. This is a quick practice to reset your nervous system and attention. Wherever you are, stop for a moment, sit down or just stand still. Close your eyes and take 3 slow breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale gently through the mouth. Now, imagine your attention expanding outward. If your awareness is usually like a flashlight focused on a problem, widen it until it feels more like the soft glow of the sun. Picture your sensory field expanding 3 times wider than your body. Feel that you are the whole space of your reality, and this space is safe for you. Silently say to yourself, I accept what is. I open to what might be. When you feel calmer, take one small easy action in your day. Rent yourself out. Send a message, drink water, step outside. This practice breaks the loop of overthinking and creates space for new probability branches to appear. It also can really expand your consciousness in the moment and make you feel that you are safe no matter what, because all you see around is the space of your reality. Second technique, the probability journal. This is a simple morning ritual that trains your attention to expect possibilities without clinging to them. Every morning, write down 3 small outcomes you'd like to see in the next 24 hours. Keep them light and playful. For example, see something that inspires me, or find an easy solution to one small task. Add one emotional state you'd like to feel that day, such as curiosity or calmness. Finally, write the sentence, I release attachment to the how. Close the notebook and forget about it. This technique prevents your mind from spiraling into control and instead opens the field for synchronicities. Once small things will be attracted, you will be trusting the idea that you are manifesting the reality much more, and one day it will be unshakable. And the third technique, the non-resistance rehearsal. This trains you to flow with reality instead of fighting it, and also helps with procrastination and self-sabotage. Sit down and bring to mind a desire you have, something realistic and meaningful for you. Now imagine one awkward or uncomfortable step that could appear on the way to the desire. Maybe rejection, maybe embarrassment, a delay, or someone not understanding you. Instead of resisting, rehearse yourself accepting it. Breathe through it, even smile, imagine saying, yes, this is also part of the way. Then let the vision move forward with the uncomfortable step leading naturally to your goal. This exercise strengthens your capacity to accept reality's stepping stones, without sabotaging yourself and losing your sense of self-worth. And the last one, okay. This is a pocket-sized practice you can use anytime fear or doubt creeps in. Inhale through the nose for 4 counts. Hold your breath for 4 counts. And exhale slowly through the mouth for 6 counts. Repeat this cycle 6 times. As you breathe, imagine your chest and field gently widening. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, calms stress hormones, and builds a subtle chemistry of trust. Ensure practice Kundalini Yoga on my channel for nervous system and anxiety. And one more, sure, sleep deprivation, but I won't be discussing this topic deeply here because it's a very contradictory technique and it's an advanced doorway into expanded state. Staying awake longer than usual while in meditation or fasting or just being super excited about something can open a second perception or second attention. In this state, reality feels dreamlike, laws of probability soften, and unusual opportunities open, and many weird things opening as well. You should be ready for them. I personally experienced the most successful and rapid quantum leaps exactly through sleep deprivation. So usually rules bend, unexpected outcomes appear, new timelines opening, very fast manifestations and foreseen events, many other things that I shared on Telegram channel. This is not for casual experimentation. Sleep deprivation can harm your body if done recklessly. Always combine it with grounding practices and never force it, never drive vehicle. Use gentler methods first, meditation, Kundalini, breath work. If you want to learn about sleep deprivation, please enter Telegram. I explained everything there. So the practices are generally not super complicated. The magic is not in complicity, it's in consistency. And it's also in conviction that you can create magic. You should believe you can create magic. You are creating only magic. You should be boldly repeating this to yourself. So if you repeat them daily, you really rewire your psychology, your psyche into quantum psychology. Less reactive, more open, more aligned with possibility, more trusting, more believing in miracles, like a child. And now a little bit about common pitfalls and how to avoid them. First one, forcing outcomes. Trying to micromanage the how tightens probability. Don't think about how. You will have it and that's it. You should be very confident that you will have it, okay? Practice allowing and take inspired action. So it's better to be just curious because it's not interesting to know everything in advance. Again, one more pitfall, spiritual bypassing. Using I manifest, I am God as a way to avoid inner work, shadow work, grief, relationships, subconscious programs. Because true skill of manifestation and choosing probabilities of your reality includes integration of feeling. If you will be repeating like a parrot, maybe you rewire your brain one day. But if you deeply feel some trauma still, some barrier, some tension, some limitation, it's in your body and your body will emit this energy outside. I saw many people like naughty children repeating, I want, it's mine, it's true, it's not true. They create only excess potential being in the ego mind. Reality is not giving children what they want because they cannot take responsibility for what they've manifested. And even if they manifest something, they won't be enough ever because they always demanding children. One more pitfall, isolation. As your reality shifts, find a supporting community or mentor. Evolution without support can be destabilizing. I helped people many times to see the depth of given situations and highlighted angles they could not see themselves. And one more pitfall, when something comes true, we rejoice and we misreading coincidence as mastery. Some shifts are synchronistic but require repeat practice to become reliable. So we need to track results and refine. We need to understand how for you it became possible. The result will be your inner concrete sensation, which usually accompanied with joy out of knowledge. Yeah, this is how it works for me. I created this with my intention. Because people really have different mechanisms of manifestations. Only you can feel it within yourself. And the final thoughts, a psychology for an uncertain world we're living in. We cannot stop every horror in the world, but we can stop fueling our own anxiety with endless fixation. Quantum psychology isn't a promise that everything will be always easy, as well as awakening. It's a practical map for aligning your inner field so that life becomes more cooperative. Remember the 4 conditions: expanded state, maximal acceptance, fearlessness with trust, and an absence of importance. Practice the techniques I gave you and watch how your attention, not your constant doing many things, bends reality. If any of this resonated, share this podcast with friends and subscribe for a Telegram channel where you can discover the mastery of sleep deprivation and many other things. Thank you for listening. Stay true and kind. The rest things never mind. Sat Nam.